welcome back to the Citizen channel. We're all staying safe and well, please. We've got a Jack Grealish quiz today for his time at City, of course, as I'm recording this. He's on loan at Everton. He started very well there, and I've done a little special on him as well. A few-parter, quite a few parts to it, guys, so check that out. It'll certainly help you answering these questions. Just 10 questions on Jack. And associated questions, yeah, there's might one or two with Jack's involvement, but about other City players as well. So test your knowledge of the time he's been with us since, of course, season 21-22. So I'll have 10 questions. I'll ask them. You can do it in normal time. I'll leave a bit of a space between the question and the answer, or you can just pause this if you want to have a little think, or you're playing it with your mates, just have a pause and a think and write it down. Just however way you want to do the quiz, on your own or with City family, why not? See who gets most right and just go from there. Right, I think we've got 16 points up for grabs. I've totted it up. That sounds about right. If it's more, let me know, because if you get 17, well done. Yeah, I think we're up to 16 points for the 10 questions, so we'll get on with this. Please, if you are new to the channel, we do lots of things apart from quizzes, of course, all on City. Give that like button a press, that'd be fantastic. Get subscribed if you've not already done so. Give us a hype, guys. There's a hype button on YouTube now, which helps this channel, helps the content, helps me out as far as the algorithms and all this is concerned. Very technical. I have no idea how they work sometimes. I mean, I get totally baffled by it all, but it's important if you can help me out, guys, by pushing those buttons and pushing that hype button. That'd be much appreciated. A little bit more later on how you can also help support the channel. Right, let's get on with this quiz. 10 questions. We'll start. They're in a sort of order, so we start from when he joined us. So as we get to question 1, it'll be early days, and of course question 10 will be just before he left us. And I don't think he'll be coming back. Shouldn't be coming back anyway. Right, question 1. Here we go. So, as I said, do it in your own time, or you can pause if you need a little bit of time to think. Right, against whom or who did Jack make his Premier League debut for City, and what was the score? 2 points up for grabs. So, who did he make his Premier League debut against? I have to think back to season 21-22, of course, the start of it all. And what was the score? So, who did we play? And what was the score? Right, I will give you the answer to this. If you're not ready, just pause. Right, I'll give you the answer. Well, Grealish made his league debut for City in a 1-0 defeat, as it was at the time, against Tottenham Hotspur at their place. Yes, we never could beat them then, but things have improved slightly since. This was on the 15th of August, of course, in the first game of that season, 21-22. So if you said City 1-0 defeat against Tottenham, give yourself 2 points. If you got one of them, give yourself 1 point, whatever machination you got. Right, on to question 2. Against who did he score his first City goal? And it was at the Etihad on the 21st of August, so just 6 days later. So against who did he score his first City goal at the Etihad on the 21st of August? So if you remember our first home game of the season, you'll know who it is. And the answer to that one, of course, is Norwich City. He scored the second in a 5-0 win. His goal was on 22 minutes. It put City 2-0 up at the time, which is a Zeus cross. Came through a group of players and hit Jack on the inside of the knee. He didn't know too much about it, but he'll take it, that's for sure. Right place, right time. But it wasn't the most glorious of goals, that's for sure. Right, on to question 3. A true or false one, this, so you got a 50-50 chance. Jack took no part in the famous final day 3-2 win over his old employers Aston Villa at the Etihad to clinch the 21-22 Premier League. True or false? Jack took no part in the famous final day 3-2 win over his old employers Aston Villa at the Etihad to clinch the 2021-22 Premier League title. Is that true or false, that statement? It is very true. Yes, he took no part at all. Yes, he started and finished on the bench. So he was there, but splinters in the bum on the bench. So that was a true statement. Give yourself a point for that. Right, moving on. Jack opened his goal-scoring account in the Premier League in less than a minute on the 17th of September 2022 in his second season with us, of course. A big season for City and Jack. In a 3-0 away win against who? So back to season 22-23, Jack opened his goal scoring account in the Premier League in less than a minute on the 17th of September in a 3-0 win away at whom, or who we were playing against. Get the answer? I'll give you the answer to that one. Well, it was against Wolves, Wolverhampton Wanderers at Molineux. His goal was after a mere 55 seconds. So if you got that right, give yourself a point. Right, let's halfway there. Question 5. Grealish headed goals. Yeah, I think we're still staying with the same season, 22-23. Grealish headed goals are fairly rare. Well, any goals of any type for City have always been fairly rare, haven't they? But they are rare on the ground, headed goals. Yeah, but on the 14th of January 2023, his first headed goal for City put City ahead against which team? So just for a point, who was it against? So Grealish headed goals, as any goals are fairly rare. But on the 14th of January 2023, his first for City put City ahead against who? I'll give you the answer to that one. Well, it was a bit disappointing. It put us ahead, of course, at Old Trafford against United, but of course we were conned out of a victory there. We were conned out of any points there, and it ended officially 2-1 for United, but it was against United. United was just a simple answer I wanted. And question 6, there we go, the classic missing word in the headline. I want this spot on, no messing about. I don't want any near misses. After a win over Arsenal at the Emirates 3-1 in February 2023, the following day the Manchester Evening News back page went with this headline, blank deal. So what's the headline? What's the missing word? After a win over Arsenal at the Emirates in February 2023, the following day the Manchester Evening News back page went with the headline, blank deal. And the answer to that, well, it's a newspaper headline. Yeah, has to rhyme a bit, doesn't it? It's all about Greal deal. I'm having nothing else. It's got to be Greal. So if you say Greal deal, give yourself a point for that one. All right, on to question 7. In City's UEFA Super Cup win the season after, 23-24 now, over Sevilla on penalties. So this is a Jack-related question. So in City's UEFA Super Cup win over Sevilla on pens on the 16th of August 2023, Jack was one of 5 scorers from the spot. For 4 points, there you go. Who were the other 4? So don't do a long list of names. I just want 4 names in your head or 4 names written down. And give yourself the equivalent points, whichever you get right. So, of course, Jack was one of the 5 scorers in the Sevilla win over Sevilla on penalties in the UEFA Super Cup. So, who were the other 4? Have a think. I'll leave a little bit of a space so you can have a think on about this. I think 2 of them are fairly obvious. The other 2 are perhaps a little bit more difficult. Talking 23-24 season, of course, now. Nearer it gets, it should be easier, shouldn't it? Right, I'll give you the answer to that one. Well, the 2 sort of obvious ones I would have probably gone for. Haaland and Alvarez scored, but the other 2, yes, Kovacic and, yes, we all panicked, didn't we, when he stepped up to take his. But, of course, Kyle Walker scored as well, although that was a big surprise. Right, on to question 8. And, of course, we're going forward to City's 4-in-a-row title season with this one. And Jack hadn't done very well, but he scored 3 goals in 10 starts and 10 sub appearances, and they all came in a 13-day spell in December of that season. So December of that season, 23-24. So what I want to know, and this is 3 points up for grabs here. Who against? So which 3 teams did he score against in that little spell, a 13-day spell in December? During our 4-in-a-row title season, 23-24. So who against? I'll give you a clue. Here you go. If you're struggling, I'll give you a little clue. Within the kits that season, all 3 teams did have a shade of a darker blue or a navy blue in the home kits. So think of teams a couple of seasons ago as I'm recording this, season 23-24. Which 3 teams did he score against? In that his only 3 goals of the season. Actually, he didn't score anymore. They were just the only ones he got, I think offhand, that's top of my head, guys. Don't shoot me if I'm wrong. But all 3 teams I don't need to know if he played him away at home, what the score was, what 3 teams did he score against, and they all have a bit of a shade of darker blue or navy blue, not sky blue, but certainly a shade of blue in their home kits. Have a think. 3 points up for grabs. Just give you the equivalent, whichever if you get 1 or 2 right, whatever you get. Right, the first one on the 3rd of December, Jack scored at home in a 3-3 draw with Tottenham Hotspur, of course, who have a navy dark blue in the kit. Luton away on the 10th of December, and yes, a wonderful gold, yellow, gold colour kit as a sort of little darker blue sort of cuffs, etc. So that's Luton Town away. And the third one, of course, they play in red and blue, a darker shade of blue. Crystal Palace at home on the 16th of December. He scored a 2-2 draw. So all those 3 teams. So give yourself the equivalent points. Right, on to the penultimate question and answer. Against who did Jack score his very last City goal during the 2024-25 season? So against who did Jack score his... So I don't want to know who, I don't want to know the scoreline or anything like that. Against who did Jack score his last City goal in the 2024-25 season? I'll give you a little clue. A lot of City fans missed this one who were at the game. Might help. But I missed it as well. Not my fault. I was only doing what I was asked to make a point. But there you go. Anyway, we'll give you the answer to that one. Against who did Jack score his last City goal, which I wasn't there to witness. I was there, but I was on the concourse because it was Leicester, of course, after 2 minutes on the 2nd of April, 2025 at the Etihad. Of course, we had a fans boycott against the selling ticket sites and various things, didn't we? And we had to wait 9 minutes. But of course, he scored within 2 minutes, so we missed it. And I and thousands of others didn't even get to see his last goal, his final goal in City Sky Blue, which was a bit disappointing, mate. But we didn't know at the time, did we? Anyway, give yourself a point if you got that right. And on to question 10. He did come on for his last appearance. Of course, he didn't play at Fulham in the very final game of the season. He wasn't even in the squad against Fulham. But he came for his last appearance in front of the City fans, replacing Bernardo on 92 minutes. Perhaps Pep knew, I'm not too sure. But on 90, he was pushing it though, wanted 92 minutes. And he came on in a 3-1 Etihad win over which team? So he came on for his very last appearance in front of the fans. So a warm welcome as ever. Replacing Bernardo on 92 minutes in a 3-1 Etihad win over whom? I mean, I think most fans stayed for that one because it was a special day, wasn't it? As you can probably see by the picture up there. Of course, you stayed because it was a little tribute to Kevin De Bruyne, wasn't it? But the game, of course, you might have forgotten who we played. Of course, the answer I wanted was Bournemouth. Yes, it was against Bournemouth that he came on in the 92nd minute. But I thought I'd put the Kevin De Bruyne picture up there just to, just to help. Just to help. There you go, guys. 10 questions. As I say, I think it's 16 points. I'm going to just go through it while you're on here. Just make sure. There's one for that. There's one for that. One for that. That's 2. That's 5. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14, 16. Yeah, 16 points, guys. Let me know what you got. It's great to know what score you've got. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope you enjoyed the little quiz. And as I said, if you can get those buttons pushed, help the channel. That'd be wonderful. And if you want to get in contact with me, guys, feel free to do so through YouTube or any of my socials, or you just want to help find out other ways of supporting this channel. There are quite a few. Just stay watching and listening. Thanks for that, guys. Hope you enjoyed the feature anyway. And please, if you can, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. That'd be wonderful. And if you're not already a subscriber, it'd be great if you could subscribe. It's absolutely free. Also, check out all my social media links. Will be in the description and comments below if you want to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook. We can chat on there and do all things City, of course. Also, if you're into film and TV, don't forget a lot of this channel is film and TV stuff. I love my film and TV like I do City. So if you're into that, have a look. Or even though somebody who might not be that bothered about the football but likes film and TV, give them a kick in my direction. I'll be very grateful. And special thanks as ever to supporters of the channel. Episiode. They've got a little eBay shop selling film and TV memorabilia mainly, including books, magazines, posters, lots of posters, and they do have some City stuff as well that they've purloined off me over time, so there'll be a few bits and pieces, probably more going on as well. So have a look at Episiode on eBay. And yes, if you do go onto eBay, and if you're a member, we do have memberships, 99p a month. You get early access to all my vlogs, so as soon as I do them, you get them. Sometimes it could be months before they're published generally, so a lot of the history stuff, so you have access. The membership gives you access to that. It gives you 10% extra off at Episiode if you want to buy any of that memorabilia, so that you can actually gain that from being a member and support the channel. That's a great way of supporting the channel, of course, like watching the ads on the original thing that you've seen now, my original feature. That'd be fantastic. So yeah, also before we go, podcasts. If you like your podcasts, I do a podcast with Mike Long in South Korea. It's called Bolt from the Blue, in our 8th season. Yeah, we've had some good fun on there. We're trying to have a bit of humour, generally look at City's games as and when we play them, have a look back. So please check out that. It's on Soundcloud, Spotify, all good places you get your podcasts from. There you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed everything about this feature, and you didn't mind me asking you about this at the end. And please, all I ever ask for you is to stay safe, everyone, especially you Blues.